how do you stimulate pure body fat loss? How to stimulate pure fat loss. And when we want to lose weight, usually what most people want to do is lose fat. And we need to recognize that there's a difference between losing weight and losing fat. Weight is just total body mass, losing muscle, losing bone density, losing fluids, and losing some body fat. But fat loss is just pure fat. So if you want to have the lowest body composition, then maximizing your fat loss is what we actually want to do. Just some ideas that 1 pound of fat is about the size of 4 sticks of butter. And we can lose 1 pound of fat by being in about a 3,500 calorie deficit per week. Now, worrying about the numbers is not that important. I just kind of want to illustrate how this kind of breaks down. So if we have 1 pound of fat equals 3,500 calories per week, if we want to lose that, then we need to lose 500 calories, or be in a deficit of 500 calories per day. Now, that's really what you want to focus on. A much faster rate than 1 pound per week is very doable, but with the lower your calorie deficit, the more that you're burning, the more likely that you're going to lose precious muscle mass. So we want to go at a sustainable rate. Again, also, if you are going into a deep deficit and you don't have a good strategy, then it's very likely that you're going to fall off and regress. You're going to have a moment of weakness, you're going to go binge out, hit up something like Golden Corral and just eat and erase all of your progress. So a slow and steady approach is much better for 1, pure fat loss, and 2, long-term body transformation. Now, what's most important with pure fat loss is 1, obviously calorie deficit. That's a given. But we want to focus on 2 major things. 1 is going to be strength training. We have to give your body a reason to hold on to the muscle and potentially build some instead of letting that go to your energy needs. Because when you go into a calorie deficit, your body is going to pull nutrients to use for fuel from anywhere it's easiest. And if your body is not stimulating your muscles, then some of the amino acids are going to be pulled and used for energy. However, if we're strength training, lifting weights, that you can't do for more than maybe 5 to 10 reps or even less, that's going to signal to your body to increase protein synthesis, which is a fancy word for muscle building. I recommend about 2 to 4 times per week of strength training, making sure that you're hitting all the major muscle groups with enough weight and volume to stimulate that protein synthesis. But at the same time, you also want to make sure that you're not doing too much, because we're going to be in a balancing act of not eating enough so that we can lose fat, but at the same time eating enough so that we can recover. And if you're hitting the gym too hard or doing way too much cardio, then your body's not going to have the nutrients and recovery capacity to stay on track for the long term. So first thing that we want to look at is strength training. Second thing is protein intake. Just like we need to signal to your body to maintain as much muscle as possible, we have to be supplying protein from the diet so that your body has the amino acids to function properly. If you're not eating enough protein in your diet, then your body will take muscle away and use that for its needs. So if we want to have just almost pure fat loss each week, we've got to be fueling your body with enough protein. Protein's also very useful because it's going to make you much fuller at a lower calorie point. The protein will signal through different processes through your body to give you a hunger signal at a much lower calorie level. Protein also is very metabolic when digested, so there's a lot of great things from having a high protein intake, and any really major successful diet out there is going to be built upon a higher priority on getting your protein in. To get started, I would say about 0.7 grams to up to 1 gram per pound of body weight as your intake. So if you're 100 or 200 pounds, to make the math easy, we want to have a minimum of 140 grams all the way up to 200 grams of protein. Now, keep in mind, the lower your calorie deficit, if you want to go really aggressive with your fat loss, the higher your protein intake needs to be. Like I said earlier, with getting started with your body transformation, though, we want to take a sensible approach with not too much higher than a 500 calorie deficit per day. Yeah, there's some wiggle room there, but that's a really good number to get started with. And in that zone, we can go towards a little bit lower, towards that 0.7 grams per pound of body weight. But if you go much higher, closer to maybe 1,000 calorie deficits per day, and I really don't recommend that high unless you have a lot of body weight to lose. So again, protein is really important, making sure that you're getting about 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. And lastly, a little bonus pro tip is making sure that you're moving throughout the day. And I'm not talking about doing a ton of cardio. We actually want this to be light, easy, almost refreshing movement that helps elevate your metabolic rate. So get moving, or get off your ass. Go ya. A great number for your movement to quantify is about 10,000 steps per day. That's going to be about 90 minutes of cumulative movement, or about 5 miles total of walking. What I really recommend is if you're in a desk job or you're sedentary, is to get up and move around a lot. Get up, go to the bathroom, go say what's up to your coworker down the hall. On your lunch break, either go and walk or take the stairs a few times, and you'll be really shocked how easy it can be if you actually consciously and with intention try to move throughout the day. That'll really help elevate your metabolic rate, get your blood flow, and you'll just feel a lot better. And you'll find, even though you're putting a little bit more time into your movement, your brain is going to function at a better level, and you probably will get more stuff done. All right, guys, I hope that's helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or give me a shout. I'm always more than happy to help you. And if you're in Raleigh, I can't wait to see you in my gym. Thanks.